Hey everybody, I'm live out here ahead of Comcast here on East 26th Street in Muncie, Indiana. Out here doing a live video in response to one of the stories I did for my final in News 233 class, doing a story on cable cutting and how that younger Americans, specifically ages 18 to 29, actually have a lower rate of buying cable, not only because of cost, but the national average is actually still above 59%. So while cable cutting has been a pretty popular fad, it's still pretty prevalent. Younger ages are not cutting the cord or not as buying cable as much as older adults. Feel free to comment below your opinions on the subject or what sort of cable or streaming service subscriptions you guys have. Personally, while I have to admit I do live off my parents' cable and streaming service subscriptions right now. I did actually purchase the streaming service of NFL Sunday Ticket, the college student package, in which I could watch all the NFL games, but currently do not have any sort of input into the market, even though I do kind of prefer cable subscriptions. So kind of going into the details of the story, the Pew Research Center and Statistic Brain did the study on cable subscribers, and Pew did say, like I said before, Pew did say that 59% of American adults that were surveyed do own cable. So it still is over 50% in the cable market, even though it is dwindling, that it is still something that more than half of American adults do have. However, Statistic Brain did say in the study that 3.4 million Americans from 2015 to 2016 cut the cord and ditched cable. It did not say whether they ended up going to streaming services or whether they just decided to not pay for cable anymore. However, the Pew study said that 31% of adults from ages 18 to 29 do own cable, but that is nothing compared to the 61% of adults that subscribe to streaming services. Those are services such as Netflix, Hulu Plus, and even Amazon Prime Video is included in that, even though some people may not own Amazon Prime just for the streaming services. So Netflix was the highest streaming service that was recorded. They were around the 40% range, while Amazon Prime Video was 17%, and then Hulu was around 8% in adults that bought that service. Just kind of the interesting part of that is that with the Statistic Brain study the age range was widened from 18 to 34, and it actually gave cable a higher percentage in that study than it was in a Pew Research study. Just kind of going off of that, you can infer that the older people are, that more likely and more of them own cable than streaming services. Now, as going up in those studies, the highest range of people who own cable were actually the oldest in each study. It was, I believe, 65 plus in Pew, and they had about 80% of people in that range owned cable. Now, this could be because it could be lower numbers for younger ages, just because that age range might be more exposed to video on demand services such as that were provided with cable, or just because of the costs. I know more companies are trying to bundle cable with internet, but Netflix is only $10 a month. I know Hulu is around that range as well. I talked to one Ball State student who says that he does use multiple streaming services. He spends about $40 a month. And he does that because he's able to watch shows, older episodes of shows in which he's not, as satisfied with the content that they're providing presently. And then another Ball State student, however, said that she purchased cable only to watch NFL games on CBS and Fox, but also to watch local news and CNN. Now, it brings up a point that while you can pick and choose your conflict or your content on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu, it's still news and live sporting events still reigns king on cable. Now, there is ESPN, Watch ESPN, and other services like that, but you do need a cable subscription to watch that in most parts. Of course, now I talked to a Ball State telecommunications professor, Dom Karasty, and he said that he does not see the market of cable ever going away. He says that there's always going to be people who want to watch bundled channels and services want to watch bundled channels and services, but he sees that the market is going to be different, that there's not going to be as much 200 channel packages. There might be something such as what Sling is doing, where you can pick and choose around 10 channels and pay for that and have that be a lower cost. It's pretty interesting right now, either that route or something what ESPN and Disney are doing. ESPN just released their ESPN Plus model, which allows for their 30 series to be streamed on there, and also they struck a deal with the Ivy League Conference in which they can provide live sporting events. So there's a few different ways that cable companies can go to kind of keep up with the market demands. Obviously, he said that the drop in the cable cutting has not stopped. He does not think that he thinks that the numbers are going to increase as the years go on. But comment below what you think that's going to happen to cable companies and kind of cable packages in the future. What would you like to be seen? What do you have now? And I thank you guys for tuning into this report. Again, out front here at Comcast and East 26th Street in Muncie, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, and feel free to comment. Thank you.